Hi guys. Hit a little bit of a bump in the road. I was not expecting to move throughout halfway through the season. I also wasn't expecting to lose internet. I filmed the Dallas Cowboys recap, was going to post it last weekend. Next thing I know, my internet subscription runs out. Presently getting new internet. As you probably can tell, this is not my apartment. This is at somebody else's place. They are nice enough to let me do this while dinner is being made. And we're going to talk Seahawks and Cardinals. I know I've been tardy, but I will find a way because the show must go on. So because I don't have internet, we're going to go old school. That's right. Pen and pad, baby! Old school. All right, so the Seattle Seahawks are going to play the Arizona Cardinals. The games just keep getting bigger and bigger for the Hawks. I read somewhere, I can't remember where it was, but I did read somewhere that the Seahawks right now have an 11% chance of winning the NFC West. They lose this game, that is reduced to 2%. If they win this game, that is the chances improve to 21%. I don't necessarily know how they came up with that formula, but as you can see, very important game if the Hawks want to stay in contention with for the division title. Right now, the Hawks sit at 4-4 after their bye week. I'm putting them at third, even though a lot of people are putting them at second, and the reason is because we lost to the St. Louis Rams, and the Rams also are 4-4. The Santa Clara 49ers are falling out of the race at this point, so the Seahawks come into this game 2 games behind the 6-2 Arizona Cardinals. And if you were to look under the term unfinished business in the dictionary or what have you, you probably would find the 2014 Arizona Cardinals a picture of the team. Because for those of you who do not know, the Cardinals actually were on their way to winning the division, getting a very, very good seed in the playoffs last year before the Hawks made their run. What happened? Injuries. They lost their quarterback, Carson Palmer, who we'll talk about later on. They lost their quarterback, Carson Palmer. They lost their running back last year. A bunch of defensive players got hurt, I believe, in the same game. And then get this, not only does the backup quarterback for Arizona not only does Carson Palmer get hurt, but the backup quarterback got hurt. So Arizona, I want to say, and don't quote me on this, but I want to say their 12th game of the season was playing their third-string quarterback. And it was obvious. If I learned anything about the injuries for Arizona, it wasn't the fact that the Arizona Cardinals weren't a good football team. I mean, they are a good team. But they showed last year they had absolutely no depth. They had no depth whatsoever. And it killed any chances of them winning the division title and going to the Super Bowl potentially. The Seattle Seahawks going on their run also did not help matters for the Arizona Cardinals. So this year basically is unfinished business for the Arizona Cardinals. They are on a mission to win the division and make a deep run after missing out last year. They come into this game 6-2. The question is whether or not they're for real. I, at this point, am saying they are for real. Why? Because ever since our Super Bowl year, the Cardinals ended up getting drilled by the Hawks when they hosted the Hawks in Arizona that year. But they came up to Seattle, and until Carolina defeated the Seahawks this year, they were one of the 2 teams that have been able to win in Seattle the last 2 years when we've gone to the Super Bowl. And you could definitely start seeing the team on the rise. They won, I want to say, 10, maybe 11 games the year the Seahawks won the Super Bowl. Ended up not making the playoffs because the Santa Clara 49ers ended up, and the New Orleans Saints ended up winning more games. The NFC that year was just insane. The fact that, the worst teams basically had Super Bowl quarterbacks, one of them being an MVP in Drew Brees. So you definitely could see the Arizona on the rise. And then last year happened, and they fell down. They lost to Carolina in the playoffs. They barely got into the playoffs. Now you got this year. They are flying high. No pun intended. I say they are for real, though. They are led by a very good coach. They're led by Carson Palmer and Larry Fitzgerald. Carson Palmer is their quarterback, who in my opinion is a good regular season quarterback. However, he has yet to show stuff in the postseason. But we haven't gotten to that point yet. So as far as I'm concerned, Carson Palmer is a very, very good quarterback. Not great, not terrible, just very good, solid quarterback. You know, he may not be the Tom Brady's, Aaron Rodgers of the world, but he's definitely not like, you know, Jamarcus Russell. You know, he is smack dab in the middle. He will keep you in ball games. The other person the Hawks have to watch out for is Larry Fitzgerald. Larry Fitzgerald is, I don't know if he still has this nickname, but when he did sign his contract with the Arizona Cardinals to stay in Arizona, people around Seattle kind of viewed him as the Edgar Martinez of the Arizona Cardinals, and there's the dog. But anyway, they viewed him as the Edgar Martinez of the Arizona Cardinals because he was willing to stay with a team who at that point was on the downswing of things. So there are the two players that we have to watch out offensively. So they are now one of three teams that have come to Seattle within the last 3 years, them, the Dallas Cowboys, and now the Carolina Panthers, to beat the Seattle Seahawks in CenturyLink. Now, why am I going to throw this stat out the window? The reason why is because this game is on Sunday Night Football. Okay? This is, I mean, it's like another Monday night. I mentioned this when the Seahawks played the Detroit Lions. You put a primetime game in Seattle, it's a completely different atmosphere. It is a completely different beast. And I'm not talking Marshawn Lynch. I'm talking 12th man. Okay? The 12s are going to be up and going for this game because it's Sunday night. Everyone's going to be leading up to the game. There's going to be more tailgating because of the later kickoff. It's going to be awesome. It's always fun to see these primetime games, regardless of whatever the Seahawks record is here in Seattle. And that is the reason why I think that you can take that stat and throw it out the window because the 12s are going to be there. So my keys to the game, Richard Sherman versus Larry Fitzgerald. Richard Sherman is coming off an outstanding game against Dez Bryant. Problem is that was Dez Bryant. This is Larry Fitzgerald. Larry Fitzgerald, I think you can make a case is a better wide receiver than Dez Bryant. But Richard Sherman's coming off his best game of the season. If in order for the Seahawks to be successful, they must take care of the deep threats, and Richard Sherman versus Larry Fitzgerald is the key one. I would like to see a fast start by the offense like they did with Dallas. I would like to see a touchdown instead of a field goal, but definitely I'd like to see that. And last but not least, it's been a while since the Seahawks have played at home, and I know the crowd is going to be in it right at the get-go. They're gonna be excited. They're gonna be loud. But when the Seahawks played the Carolina Panthers, there actually was an article that came out saying that the crowd was a little quiet when the Panthers were making their comeback. So another key is keep the crowd in it. All right, get off to the fast start, keep the game close, and at the end of the day, have the defense take down a very legit offense. This is going to be a tough test. So my prediction, I'm going with the Seahawks in this one. My predictions are 5-3 thus far this season. I'm going with the Seahawks in this one because of the whole defense versus offense. Seattle's got a better defense. Arizona's got a better offense. And usually what we see in the past, defense shuts down offense. So that's what I got. So I will recap the game as soon as possible. I'm going to actually take a break from the comment videos that I've been doing. Feel free to leave your comments. I will get to them. I'm trying to get my internet situation settled before that happens. So go Hawks. I predict the Hawks will beat the Arizona Cardinals, and we'll talk to you all later. Thanks for watching.